So you want to make a graph in Google Sheets, but you don't have data. Instead, you have a word problem, and maybe you know an equation that you want to use to figure out some of the data, but you don't have any data. So your word problem deals with the velocity and acceleration of an object, and you want to plot position versus time. Well, I know I want to plot position versus time, so I'll put the thing on the x-axis in the first column. I'll put the thing on the y-axis in the second column. Eventually, I'm going to want to plot velocity versus time also, so I'll put that in this column. I know the acceleration is going to be one number the whole time. So acceleration equals whatever. I forgot the numbers in the problem I gave you. Acceleration equals 5, let's say, meters per second squared, and meters per second. Notice that I put the number in one cell by itself, because later I'm going to use it, and if there's any text in that cell with it, it will mess up the formulas. Just to make it look nice, align that to the right. You don't have to do that. I know, let's say the initial velocity also, let's say I know that, and it's 10 meters per second. Format, align, right. So these two numbers, oh, that was supposed to be 5. These two numbers are just constants. They don't change throughout the word problem. But if I want to make a graph, I need a bunch of different values of position for time. So I could just try to figure out where it is each second, or each half a second, or every 5 seconds. You know, what you use for your time separation row by row is up to you. Once you get a pattern going like this, if you highlight it and drag it down, it will continue that pattern for you. So, how do I calculate the position of a thing if I know how long it's been traveling, so 0 seconds, if I know its acceleration, and if I know its initial velocity? Well, there's an equation that we've learned that will tell you displacement if you know initial velocity and acceleration and time. So all you have to really know is how to type that equation in and then drag it down, and you got the data you need to graph. So the formula we need will give us an idea of where the little Timmy is if we know how long in time has gone by, and if we know the acceleration, and if we know the initial velocity, which we have all that. I'm making up a bunch of time values so we can figure out where it is at these different time values. We know acceleration and initial velocity, and you can change these to be whatever the numbers really are. The equation that will do all that for us is 1/2 at squared plus ut, or ut plus 1/2 at squared. Now, displacement is not position, but for some motion, the position and displacement are the same number for a while. Unless things go negative, or unless the object turns around. So in phase 1 of this problem, it's pretty simple because the distance traveled is the same thing as the displacement. So how do we type in u times t plus 1/2 times a times t squared in the spreadsheet? Type in equal sign. U is over here in F2, but I don't want F2 to change when I go to drag this formula down and fill in the rest of the position numbers. So you put money signs in front, and it'll always point to F2 if you do that. What time is it? A3 plus 0.5 times the acceleration. Same thing with the acceleration, put the money signs so it doesn't move that cell, times A3 squared. And we should have What number? 12.5. Now drag this down as far as you need to. Highlight the numbers and insert a chart. If these were the numbers you were using, then this chart would be right. Do the same thing with velocity. I'll let you figure out what formula to plug in for velocity and make your own velocity versus time graph. So that's how it should look, and those are the tricks you need to make a graph like this in Google Sheets when you don't already have the data, but you know the numbers and you have an equation. You just need to translate the equation to a formula in Excel or Sheets. Good luck.